Now, it says, these are the gifts Christ gave to the church: the apostles, the prophets, the evangelists. Verse 11 in KJV says, and he gave some apostles, and some prophets, and some evangelists, and some pastors and teachers. There are two ways you can look at it and you will be right. The first way you can interpret this verse is that, okay, the gifts that he is giving are apostle. Okay, so if you look at the apostle as a person being given as a gift, you'll be right. Are you following me? He says these are the gifts that Christ gave unto the church, and he began to list offices that men sit on. First, the apostle; second, the prophet; third, the evangelist; fourth, the pastor; fifth, teacher. You can also say, in case you are interpreting it like this, that and he gave some to be apostles. It's also a gift. It's a gift. It's a charismatic expression, because when we now look at the purpose of the gifts shortly, you will now see that those names are not just mere titles, because maybe God is a king that wants to feel important and fill his parliament with all kinds of positions. So he decided to create, some of our villages today, there are many chieftaincy titles that are very irrelevant. Just because there was one man that left the village when he was young, came back as a very rich man, he built 2 hospitals and built 5 schools, and they decided to craft an office in honor of the man because you have done too much here. So that's not the case here. When God is giving a gift or an office, it is because of responsibility. Are you following me? It is because of responsibility. The word for ministry there, which we will find shortly, is diakonia or diakonos, and what that word literally translates to is public service. So when you hear apostle, the first thing you should look at is not the kind of suit he's wearing. When you hear prophet, the first thing you should look at is not the length of his garment. Amen. If it is true that it is a gift, it means that there will be things that these people can do that the average believer might be able to do, but at a certain measure. But in their own life, there will be the heightening of grace in that regard. Are you here? So if you hear apostle, the Greek word there is apostolos. It means a sent one. When such a person who has received the gift of apostleship matures in an office, when he's sent into a land, it becomes obvious that God has touched down on that land. And because of the nature of that assignment and the things that person is going to confront, there will be certain other gifts, which we'll look at shortly, or let me call it what Paul called it, special abilities that will be commonplace to such an office because of the nature of assignment. Amen. Notice when God called Jeremiah in Jeremiah chapter 1, it says, before you were formed in your mother's womb, I knew you, and before you came out, I ordained you to be a prophet. He didn't stop there. I mean, it's not about the title. After calling the title, he called an assignment, a divine task that he was to fulfill, which will be consistent with the kind of office he has been ordained into: to root out, to pull down, destroy, overthrow, build, and to plant. And then says, don't say you're a child, for I've put my words in your mouth. Assignment. Are you here? Are you still with me? So the next time somebody lays hands on you and tell you, I see you in the spirit, you are a mighty apostle, when you leave there, go and cry to God. And because if you look at your life and you don't find the gifts and the abilities and the discipline that is consistent with the people that have walked in such office before, then it means that it's either the person lied or there is a gap of grace that needs to be filled up before you can mature in that office. Amen. Don't pursue title. That's what I'm saying. Pursue the grace. We young people, we like giving ourselves titles. Because you went to 3 universities, you become an intercontinental apostle. Ready to happen. You are an intercontinental ballistic missile. If I go on your... Don't pursue title. In fact, if it is true that you have that calling or that office, you will never need to announce it yourself. I'm not saying it is not anti-scriptural to announce, because Paul was, oh my God, he will start his letter by letting you know who he is. That's how he started his letters. So it's not anti-scriptural to, but you're not Paul, sir. If it is true, a point will come that some things would have been consistent enough for us to attribute an office. They will be the ones calling you the name. If you are the only one calling yourself prophet, it's either you are fake or you have not matured yet. If you are the only one calling yourself an apostle, it's either... Amen.